Hey, last week that we did Batman Mask of the Phantasm, right?
Yeah, I remember.
You remember? Okay, because you can go back and watch it. That's the beauty of the internet.
It comes out today. It came out today. Yeah.
What? Why, yes, it did. But
Sort of.
or yesterday. I get confused about our
week.
timelines. Yeah, is it still April Fool's Day? Well, point being that it got me to thinking about Batman himself. Especially in the movies, like Bruce Wayne has his own regular voice, but then he puts on the mask, and his voice changes tremendously because I guess it has to, so they don't confuse the same person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but it's always the same kind of gravelly, like especially with Christian Bale with "You will not change me." Like I thought he needed, some asthma medication. I was
absolutely
worried. Yeah. So my thought is, what if they chose an entirely different direction with the voice? Robert Pattinson, all those guys, they put on the mask immediately. It's like, uh-oh, the bat signal. I must go fight crime. Ah, Batman. Hey, I'm Batman. Hey, come on now.
It doesn't work at all, Shannon.
You don't think so? I'm Vengeance. How about this one? I'm Batman. Vengeance. No?
No, the other
How
one
about
was
if it's
better.
too tight and he's like, no?
The other one sounds so crazy that they might be scared of you. So.
Right? Like, hey, what you running for?
That's true. Yeah. I think Robert Pattinson said that he was trying to do something different with his voice. He was like, I think I'm going to whisper. Everyone's doing the gruff thing. And he's like, when you're whispering, you got to kind of like push it a little bit. So he ended up being just about like Christian Bale.
I was about to say, yeah.
Like
Christian Bale. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Robert Pattinson should have tried like something completely different, like, oh, Batman, hey, come on, man. No, you don't
could do it. If anyone could do it, he could do it, but,
Maybe. Heavens to Megatroid, I'm Batman. Justice. No.
Kind of like that one, kind of.
Yeah, that was nice. That was
You're
nice.
trying.
You're like, tell all your friends about me. Okay.
Well, Shannon, why are we talking about Batman so much
I'm
today?
glad you asked, because we talk about movies, because this podcast is called
NOMS Podcast. Nerd Out with Matthew and Shannon.
Yeah, that's right. I'm Shannon St. Sincere.
And I'm Matthew St. Cloud.
I like it. And we're not film stars anymore. No. Not well, speak for yourself, I suppose. We are the Doms. That's right. We're nerding out with Matches and Shannon. We are a podcast that, what do we do, Matches?
We talk about movies.
Boom.
More specifically, we talk about movies that our buddies Siskel and Ebert reviewed from 1986 to 2006, roughly. Roper years or somewhere in there, yeah.
That is such an exact timeline, man.
Yeah. There's not a lot from the 2005-06 era, so it's kind of lost media at this point.
Well, again, if you're just now joining us for the first time ever, from about mid-90s, from about 99 to 2000, whatever, Gene Siskel was no longer with us, and it was Roger Ebert and friends, and then Ebert and Roper. Yeah.
Yep.
So there you go. Again, I'll make the joke. Ebert and Furley would have been more fun. No. I like
Furley.
Yeah, you heard me. Roper. Furley.
Okay.
Three's Company, Jack.
That's right.
That would have been great. But yeah, so what we do is we take the reviews of Siskel and Ebert and we talk about a movie that we've obviously seen, sometimes 2 hours before the podcast. And we, in my case, sometimes we're like, I never saw this movie before. Like The Hudsucker Proxy. It's my first time to ever see it. There you go. I know, it was fresh. We take a movie that we have seen, either we really love, maybe we hate, take girl, and we Mad Dog time, and we dissect it, talk about it. We see if we agree with Siskel and Ebert. And this week is special, and I don't mean that as a joke. I mean that for real, because this week is in honor of a fabulous actor, one of our favorites that we lost last week, right, Matches? Or 2 weeks ago, if you're listening now. I don't know.
It's true.
Recently.
In the arms of the angel.
Okay.
We did lose a Val Kilmer last week.
Oh, we sure did. You're a daisy if you do. Val Kilmer.
Val.
I started looking around and I totally forgot everything that Val Kilmer was in was everything. Like, because I was thinking, oh yeah, Batman Forever. He was the second film Batman. Tombstone, obviously, where he played Doc Holliday, one of his most beloved roles, I would say. But then I was like, oh crap, he was Moses in the cartoon Prince of Egypt.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that. Stuff you forgot.
Yeah, like actually, my roommate put it on the other day, and I started watching it. I completely forgot he was in it. Like,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
why he was watching it. Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah. You know, Jeff Goldblum's in that movie, Sandra Bullock. It's quite
yeah.
the cast.
Michelle
It's still a
Pfeiffer.
cast.
There's a ton.
Yeah. The
Jeff
Martins.
Goldblum, I think, was in it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Steve
The Martin, Stephen Martin.
Martin Short.
Yeah, Martin
The
Short.
Martins,
Thank
yeah.
you.
And of course,
Martin and Martin Short. Yeah.
I call him the Martins. And also Rafe Fiennes. It should be Ralph, but he's a rebel. But that's not the movie we're doing tonight. We're doing, and actually, I will tell you, we wanted to do a Val Kilmer film, and it was a tough choice because there are a lot of great Val Kilmer films. There's movies that Val Kilmer is a co-star in that he steals, like Tombstone. Would you say he was a co-star, or would you say that movie's an ensemble?
It's an ensemble for sure.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
okay,
he stole the movie for sure. Everyone agrees. Like, he was amazing.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And we will do Tombstone. We'll do Tombstone. One day we do Tombstone.
We will, because I've never seen it.
You're kidding me. Ladies and gentlemen, this
Not
podcast is taking
Look, I wasn't a cowboy kid. I wasn't a country and western rootin' tootin' little varmint yodeling in Walmart when I was a kid. I'm sorry. I just
Wait a minute. You're in Walmart. You were in Arkansas. Obviously, you grew up in Walmart. You know that. It's
I
required.
wasn't yodeling in Walmart though.
Well, only if the price is wrong. I need a price check on aisle 3. Ow!
Yeah, I wasn't so into the westerns back then, and I come around to the better ones. I loved Unforgiven when we did it a couple of months ago.
But would you say you came around to the ones that were in our lifetime? Like sort of
for sure, yeah.
Modern day westerns? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
The Young Guns, Silverado. Yeah.
I like Young Guns. Yeah. I don't remember Young Guns 2 so well, but I need to watch that one.
Well, I will tell you this. We will save Tombstone for another time because Matt just wanted to put a little palate cleanser in between Unforgiven and another Western. So, which is why we won't be doing Pamela Anderson's Barbed Wire anytime soon. But that's not the point. That movie's
I really
awesome.
wanted to do that one.
Sorry.
Too bad. Yeah.
I know you're a big Steve Railsback fan, but today, we are doing a movie that I think is a favorite among many people our ages, older. I don't know if you could call it a cult classic because it made money at the box office, but it's definitely culty. It
is. It was more well received than Weird Science, yet not that many people know about it still.
Right.
I don't know. Because you can ask a group of people, hey, have y'all seen Real Genius? And they're like, huh? Nobody knows what you're talking about. Maybe one guy's like, oh yeah, I love it.
Well,
like, not you.
BT Dubs, the movie we're doing tonight is Real Genius from 1985.
It is Real Genius. Yep.
Real Genius. No, you're right. Because you mentioned Real Genius, and about 2 out of 5 people will be like, "Oh yeah, Real Genius." Oh yeah.
It's true. Yeah, maybe not even that many, but yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. A lot of people I know.
If my friend hadn't shown it to me, I may never have seen it. Like,
that's funny. You should say that. Your brother had a similar experience that I did. The very first time I even heard or saw of the movie, I was at my friend Will's house, and Will was one of the few people in good old Mount Holly. We didn't have cable till 1992. Laugh all you want, but then we had 2 channels. So we had our antenna. But Will was one of the few families in town that had a satellite dish. And this was the 80s and early 90s when the satellite dishes were as big as the NORAD space station.
Yeah.
Oh, they were huge.
they were cuties. They were little cuties. Yeah.
They were huge, right? You could sleep in them. You could get out there and camp in them. They were great. You could skateboard in them. So he's got was that the early days when you had to like set coordinates? I swear that was a satellite thing, was it?
I don't know. I never had one myself, so
yeah, we did.
That sounds right. You had to kind of like move it this way or that way to get something. Yeah,
watching TNT.
Yeah.
Well,
see
that was
get it better.
Well, that was one of the 2 or 3 families in Mount Holly who had a satellite, so it was pretty magical when you went over there. Oh yeah. And so I'm over at his house, and there's some movie on. And he goes, "Oh, this movie's called Real Genius," and all I know is at the end of the movie, they've got this nerd who's got a radio in his braces, and they bring him in a house, and the house gets hit with a laser, and popcorn flies out of the house. And that's all I knew about the movie for years. Yes.
Why? Because that's all you saw?
Yeah, that's all I saw. It was like the last 20, 30 minutes. I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, is that the guy from Top Gun? That looks like
What was the
Iceman.
guy's name in the house at the time?
Kent.
Kent. He's the one
Kent.
for you. Okay, Kent.
And
Hate that guy.
we will talk
But
about
I
Kent.
loved his reaction.
When I finally saw the whole movie was in '96 at OBU, and my friends across the hall from my dorm, there was a guy. I'm gonna give him a shout out, Big T. Big T was a huge fan of this movie. I think this is one of his favorite films. And Big T actually has a podcast called Hog Report. You should check it out. He's a cool guy. He's a great guy. He lives around the South Arkansas area.
Is that a Sporty Ball? Sporty Ball podcast? Is that a Sporty Ball podcast?
That is a Sporty Ball podcast with the footy ball. Yeah. Arkansas Razorbacks. Woo, our pro team.
Neat.
So basically, like, we watched this movie, and I was like, oh, this is the movie with the popcorn and Val Kilmer. And then I was like, oh, okay. I saw the film for the first time in his dorm room. And so that was my experience with Real Genius. So are you ready to get to the next part of this?
Oh, yeah. It's my favorite little bit here. It's one of my favorite little bits here we do. Ooh. All right, let's go ahead and roll. Beautiful B-roll footage.
Can I have some popcorn with that? That is so refreshing.
I don't even think it does that but I hear it every time. So
yeah. Like that's the only thing we hear. People are like, what are you talking about? That's like hearing into your headpiece, action. You're like, action!
I want a Coca-Cola Classic now.
Me too. I want new Coke. Does anyone have any still? Did they preserve
Marketing works.
Nah. So your experience, you said a friend showed it to you, right?
Yeah. My friend BA, who we've mentioned on the podcast before,
yes.
Who loved John Carpenter's Vampires and something else. No,
no, he did not.
He showed me a lot of cool stuff. Like, I have to admit, I mentioned his name a lot because he showed me a lot of the funniest, cool stuff, I think. And Real Genius is not problematic at all. Like, you know how it started out?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I do.
It was going to be a Revenge of the Nerd style,
a raunchy
dirty comedy. Yeah. What do they call it? I can't remember what they call it. Anyway, snobs versus
snobs versus the slobs.
Slobs,
which got perfected, which got sort of pushed with Animal House, and then Caddyshack is a definitive version of that one. Yeah, Caddyshack's a real good
aged
version.
Well. So
some of that hasn't. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Parts of Revenge of the Nerds have not aged well. I will say that. I go back and I go, oh,
yeah, it's a little scary.
Robert Carradine. But it did start off as an R-rated raunchy comedy, which is funny you should say that because one of the writers, Neil Israel, was one of the writers of this movie, and he was one of the writers for Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, okay, so it is connected a little bit.
He was bringing that, yeah.
There's a woman director here, wasn't it?
Martha Coolidge.
Yes. What is she like?
She directed the cult classic Valley Girl from the early 80s.
She did?
Like Gag Me with a Spoon. I'm so true.
I love it so much. Okay, that's so cool.
Starring Nicolas Cage and Deborah Foreman, who has a tiny role in this film.
Really?
Yes. Martha Coolidge. Produced, might I add, I think maybe the second movie produced by Brian Grazer. Do you know who that is?
I know the name for sure.
Yeah.
I'd seen it before.
Brian Grazer is one of the most successful producers in Hollywood. And this was one of his early films. And actually, when Val Kilmer came to get cast, Brian Grazer says he remembers Val Kilmer coming on the set with like magic tricks and wacky jokes and stuff. And Val Kilmer says he remembers coming on the set and meeting him for the first time and thinking the character was going to be rude and insulting. So he came up to Brian Grazer and he was like, "You're only 12. I work with men."
And that's how he got the part.
That's how he got the part.
It is, isn't it? Oh, God.
And you know what? Val Kilmer, we love him so much. Apparently, he did have a reputation for being a tad difficult on sets.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like, he kind of knew what he wanted, and I think he would just kind of clash with the director over what I don't know, it sounded like he just had his own opinion about things.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know how bad it was, but, apparently on set on Real Genius, he was just elusive. When they stopped filming, he would just be off by himself doing something.
Yeah.
And apparently clashed with the director on the Island of Dr. Moreau a lot. Apparently that was insane.
There was a lot wrong that happened with that movie.
We almost did that movie, and I'm kind of almost wish we did, but it's so bad.
We probably should do it, yeah.
At some point we will, yeah.
We should, because Marlon Brando brought his crazy, and then Val Kilmer brought his Kilmer. He got a treehouse built on set, or wanted his character to have a treehouse.
Really?
Yes. I don't know if they went through with it, but that's what Val Kilmer wanted. He wanted a treehouse for his character.
Yeah, apparently he's a little eccentric. And
yeah. But I loved it. I thought he was so charming in just about every role he was in.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going through this research and stuff. I didn't realize that one of the biggest loves of his life was Cher.
Wait, what? Did they date?
They dated in the 80s for years. Like, she was 14 years older than him. I thought it was a lot more. Remember in the 90s where like she probably like lies in a coffin and like this was the 90s or
well, she had a reputation in the late 80s and 90s for dating much younger men.
Yeah, apparently he had an effect on her, but he was the most wonderful, most difficult man she ever dated.
Wow.
So I don't know.
Well, the second part of that song was cut off. It's like, if I could turn back time, I'd wait till you graduate.
Oh, wow. Well, I do know. I can't remember when it was, but he was doing his one-man show. I think it was Mark Twain.
Kilmer?
Traveling around the country. He did this is 10 years ago or so. I can't remember. We have a friend, we'll call her Penny, that worked at Dallas.
Okay.
And she had to save a spot for him.
We'll call her Penny. Okay,
so she's outside. She worked at the Dallas Theater or whatever. And she's outside standing in a parking spot. And this truck pulls in. This little farmer's nothing, whatever truck pulls in. And she's like, no, you can't park here. This is for somebody. And there was only one person in the truck, and it was Val Kilmer. He drove himself in an old truck. Yeah, apparently for the last 20 years of his life, he wasn't married. He didn't have a girlfriend. He just did his own thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, and just a cool guy, she said. So that's awesome. Yeah, he was super nice.
And I feel so bad because, like, did he have throat cancer? He had some kind of cancer. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it was throat cancer. Yeah, and he couldn't speak very well at all.
He lost his voice completely and had to use like a Stephen Hawking type computer.
Yeah, it didn't sound as weird as that, but it was.
No. I actually haven't heard him speak, but apparently in Top Gun 2, Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise insisted he be in the film, so they used AI to have
I didn't know that, so that's the only reason I'm probably going to go back and watch that movie. I missed it. I know it made $1 billion at the box office, but the trailer looked so soulless and not good to me.
Exactly, and I don't know one person who didn't love that film.
Really?
Yeah, my parents never liked Top Gun, and they both loved that film. And my dad's not a movie guy.
Top Gun's got an aesthetic to it that this just didn't have to me. And the music, and
okay. Can I correction? Everyone I know, except for Matches, loved Top Gun 2.
No, I haven't seen Top Gun all the way through.
See, I haven't seen Maverick. I was forced to watch Top Gun 1,000 times as a kid.
Maverick? Wait, with
Top Gun 2.
Top Gun Maverick. Sorry, I was thinking of Mel Gibson movie.
No! Oh yeah, I should be more specific. No, not
where
the
did
gambler,
that come from?
Not the card playing gambler.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's not the movie we're doing. We're doing real
Sneakers. 19. Oh, sorry.
No, we're doing The Saint.
Oh, The Saint. Okay.
No.
Val Kilmer wasn't even in Sneakers. We should do that sometime.
Yeah, we should do Sneakers. That's
I went to the theater and saw that. Okay.
Sidebar. Okay, so we're doing Real Genius, a movie about, geniuses. It's about a fictional Caltech school called Pacific Tech. Yep. And this kid who's 15 years old named Mitch, played by some guy, he gets accepted to the college being a very smart guy. And who's the big brain at Pacific Tech? Oh, hang on, pause. Sorry. Well, actually, I meant the professor, the big
professor,
the guy who sort of runs the campus in a way he runs the
William
program.
Atherton.
One of the greatest cinematic jerks of all time, and I mean that with love. If you wanted somebody in the 80s and 90s to play a villain who wasn't like a I'll kill you villain, but a bureaucratic, just pretentious, full of himself villain who always did the wrong thing and messed things up, you called him William Atherton. Because he is great. And let me tell you something. He was in a movie in 1977 called Looking for Mr. Goodbar, which, by the way, they never find the chocolate bar. Spoiler. He didn't do a movie for 7 years, and do you know what movie he decided to come back and do?
No.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, so it was before Ghostbusters. Okay.
Yeah, Looking for Mr. Goodbar. That's what I'm saying. He had a 7-year gap.
Oh, I got you.
And when he came back,
Ghostbusters ruined his life, he said.
Wait, you're kidding me.
He couldn't walk down the street or into a bar without people trying to pick a fight with him because he shut down the Ghostbusters. And this is true.
He
did
did
such a good job. He was such a jerk. People hated him in real life.
But unlike Billy Zane, the bad guy in Titanic, he did get cast in other things.
Yeah, that's
Billy
true.
Zane couldn't get cast because he was so
That's
hated.
crazy. He was so good in that. It was so real. It's like, man, we don't want him on anything, anything like that.
Chicks, the girls hate him.
Poor Billy Zane.
The men do too. And William Atherton too. Such a great actor. Great in Ghostbusters. He played the horribly selfish and terrible reporter in Die Hard 1 and 2.
Yep, that's true.
Yep. So, and lots of other things. He's in Biodome. He played the...
that's right. He was the bad guy in Biodome. I was trying to remember what else he was in, and that's it. Yeah.
I can't think of one movie he's in where he doesn't play this kind of character, but he's really good.
He's so good at it, yeah.
But
well,
in
Ghostbusters, I didn't realize that was the same person for a long time because he had shorter hair and a beard, kind of,
yes.
He looks a lot different,
Well, apparently they coaxed him enough to return for Frozen Empire. Because he's now the mayor of New York City in Frozen Empire.
Oh, wow. I still haven't seen that.
Okay, I won't spoil. I liked it. I really liked it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
I'll watch it.
Another day. But yeah.
If it's not locked behind a Netflix paywall.
Sorry, you got to have a key. So basically, William Atherton is the big professor at this college. And the big brain, as you were about to say, who is the big star of the college? A guy who has an IQ to rival Einstein.
Oh, wow. Well, it was Brent, I believe. And then it seems like it was Val Kilmer, Mr. Chris Knight.
Chris Knight, played by Val Kilmer. That's right. He has it. And apparently, Mitch, who's never seen Chris Knight, knows his reputation and not only looks up to the professor played by Atherton. Do you remember his name? Because I forgot to write it down.
Oh, Atherton's name?
Yeah. Thomas Brick-a-Brack. No, I'm just kidding.
Gosh, I kept getting his real name and the character name mixed up while I was watching
so
it. Now
funny.
I can't remember.
And you wanted to call him Walter Peck. I know you did.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, anyway, so basically it's like, he's the big professor and Chris Knight is Mitch's hero, but he's never seen him. So then he gets to his dorm room on the first day. He's a 15-year-old college student and his roommate is Chris Knight. And when he introduces himself, Chris Knight's upside down at the moment. He's also taken all his clothes and put them around. He's a slob. He says he organizes. He goes, "This is H for toys." And he's like, "Who is this lunatic?" And he's like, "I'm Chris Knight." And Mitch literally goes, "No."
It's funny because I guess Chris Knight wasn't always like this. I think that's why this character works, is because he was a study nerd and he was like, just in it to win it. And then he figured out that he needed to loosen up. So he became a fast talking, wisecracking weirdo. I don't know.
Fun party guy. And everyone loves Chris because he's
he's a
funny.
Ferris Bueller type. If we will.
And again, like you said when he walked away and like didn't socialize much on set, that kind of works in a way. Because I was telling your brother before we started, everybody else in this movie is like in a different movie, and then Val Kilmer is in a different movie because he comes in and he's like, how can I stand on my head better and not lose my change? I'll be naked.
Yeah.
And he has great one-liners like, I wrote it down. He wrote, one of my favorites, he goes, "I need to see more of you in the lab. I'll gain weight then."
That's so funny.
So after the review, I do want to talk about the reason why Chris Knight decides to chill out before his senior year.
For sure. Yeah.
You
ready for that footage?
I'm ready for Siskel and Ebert to tell us, what do you think they thought of this movie? Because I don't know if this movie is critically loved. I know it did pretty good at the box office. Yeah. And I know it had a huge following on video.
I read it was well received, so I'm going to say maybe they liked it. It's an absolutely cute comedy. It's cool. It's funny.
Quirky.
There's great music all throughout. Like
I was going to say, it is very 80s. Yes.
They spared no expense on the music budget. That's what I was thinking.
Well, one thing I always loved about 80s films, and you can put a lot of 80s films in this category. They would have great little musical montages where they would play a song and show them doing things. I mean, it's like the definition of the montage the 80s was. And they have like 2 or 3 in here, and it's always the same. Like, you'll see them talking, and you're like, what are they saying? I can't hear them. They're doing something. And it's always some like inspiring song like, "We're going to do it. You got to achieve the fire." And they're like, "We're going to build this house."
Nice.
The montages. So let's see what they thought.
Okay, let's do it.
About college students so smart their term project could be a murder weapon. This movie is named Real Genius, and it tells the story of 2 of the smartest science students in the country who both end up as the students of a fanatic physics professor at a school that is obviously supposed to be like Caltech. That's the place where when my team, Illinois, was in the Rose Bowl, they sabotaged the scoreboard with their computer so the Caltech was beating everybody. That's the kind of school it is. These are the kind of students they are. These are kids who can dream up a new laser beam technology in between beer blasts. But of course, they're not real sophisticated socially. They don't know nearly as much about girls as they know about laser beams.
Or how to get dressed.
Right, another good point. The older of those two kids there is played by Val Kilmer, and you might remember him from Top Secret. The younger genius is Gabe Jarrett, and they have a goofy offbeat rhythm all through this movie as they work miracles in the laboratory. Now, of course, they've gone to all that trouble to create that laser beam to lead everyone to a party, which is called the Tanning Invitational. And they've taken a lecture hall and put a swimming pool in the bottom of it and turned the steps into a toboggan slide. These are real serious students, but they use all of that brain power in order to be so silly, which is one of the charms of this movie. I have sort of a rule about going to the movies, which reads like this. Whenever possible, go to movies that are at least as smart as you are. And Real Genius qualifies.
Well, wait a minute. Let me get that right. You're saying it's called Real Genius. It's as smart as you are, and that's why you like it.
I couldn't have put it better myself. Yeah. Just don't ask me why I like the vampire movie. After all the dumb movies this summer about dumb teenagers and dumb sexual problems, here's a smart, funny movie about bright, complicated kids. It was directed by Martha Coolidge, whose Valley Girl was another good movie about complicated, believable teenagers. And this one has a nice feeling for these kids who are real geniuses, but who also have all of the usual problems about adolescent life. I like this movie.
I thought it was the perfect name for my biography,
Real Genius?
Yes, thank you very much.
I think Weird Science coming up later would be more your style.
No. I think it's a very funny film. Now, here's a film that goes over, we won't belabor the vampire picture anymore, but here's
Yay, they both liked it.
Yeah, but they didn't like Fright Night.
Yeah.
that goes for every single gag it possibly can and hits so many times. I credit the script here. This is very funny. Somebody actually, and I think there were 3 people that worked on the script, Neil Israel, Pat Proctor, 2 of them, from the Police Academy movies. This time they really went through, and it looked like every single gag, can we fine-tune it. Very funny. I laughed out loud a lot.
Here's something that I liked about it. Now, you and I both went to college, right? We knew all of these crazy characters. One of the things on college campuses is that you're trying to make yourself into an individual, and there are a lot of people who behave in very strange ways to call attention to themselves, including in this movie, the guy who lives in the closet.
And he disappears.
And when you look in the closet, he's not there because he's really living in the steam tunnels. Now, in most college campus pictures,
we had a guy
everybody is the same. You got the jock, you got the blonde, you got the cheerleader, you got the nerd. These are real, complicated, crazy kids like you find in a college dorm.
Also, how about the kid who turns the hallways of the dorm into an ice palace or a skating rink? I mean, maybe here's another test. I would like to go to the school that's in this movie as opposed to the schools that are in most teenage and high school and college films.
I'd say, Gene, that you probably did.
Okay. Coming up next at the movies, 2 computer whizzes design the perfect.
Yeah, that's good. There we go.
That's funny they did Real Genius and Weird Science in the same episode.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. That was I guess it was the same year.
Yeah. And again, I know people who love Weird Science as much as Real Genius. I don't think it's very good. I disagree.
I grew up with Weird Science, so I mean, like, it had just some fun parts and some good music, and it's just Bill a pop Paxton. Kind of a culture-y thing, I guess. Like, but it wasn't the greatest concept premise.
Well, the premise was cool. Maybe it was the execution, you mean?
Maybe know. So. Yeah. It's fine. Like, to me, like, they just made a beautiful bombshell lady for them to be best friends with. I didn't really think about the other stuff they might have been doing behind the scenes.
But matches, it's from my heart and from my hands. Why don't people
she's a
understand?
magical lady, so whatever. Yeah.
I gotta say, I enjoyed the Weird Science television show on USA a lot better in the 90s.
Yeah. Who was the lady that did that one?
That was, oh my gosh, Vanessa Angel.
Yes.
Who was also
Angel.
Kingpin. Yeah, at least she had a good thing at Kingpin. But back to Real Genius. Real Science? Weird Genius?
Real Genius.
Yeah. Blake Livers. I don't know. But listen. So back to Real Genius. Their review was pretty good. They liked it.
Yeah,
they really liked it.
They talked a long time about it.
It seemed
and absolutely enjoyed it. Yeah.
It seemed to tickle them. Yeah.
Yeah. If you know any smart kids, you know that they're a lot like these people. Like, they had every different type of smart kid in this movie, I think.
They really did. Because you talked about how Chris Knight started off like Mitch as like, tightly wound and always in the lab and always studying and always doing this. Well, what made him decide to relax and live life and take it one day at a time was the guy in the closet in their room.
What's his name? Laszlo or something?
Laszlo. Cripes, I forgot the last name because it looks like it's spelled different. It was Laszlo. Laszlo was a student at Pacific Tech who was extremely brilliant, but was just stressed out by the real world when he couldn't find the answers that weren't the answers in the book. And apparently his creations and his sources and his theories were being used for nefarious purposes, which we find out, as they mentioned, Chris and Mitch's laser is to be used by William Atherton to give to the CIA for covert assassinations that even the president don't need to know about.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like the way they found out about it. I feel like they could have found out in a more clever way, but I think Laszlo was kind of the Deus ex machina or something. Because he comes in and is like, what do you think they're using it for? You know? Oh, God. You know?
Well, that first scene, he walks in, he's got long hair, and he's carrying a McDonald's bag. He walks
in Mitch's room.
Walks in the closet, closes the door. Mitch opens the closet. There's nobody there. And they find out later, like they said, he's got like this elaborate like
panel
system to get down to the tunnels.
Yeah, he gets in a little kind of bad go-kart looking thing, and it just falls down. Yeah.
It's almost like a little bat cave, you know.
It is.
And so he went kind of crazy and started living down there. And Chris Knight used that as an example of, hey, maybe I should relax a little. Yeah. And by the way, Laszlo played by, how do you pronounce it? Is it John Grease or John Grise? Because I've never heard it. Well, in case you wonder who that is, you might know John Grease, as a lot of you might know him as Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Wasn't he in something we reviewed recently or talked about?
I don't
Maybe
know
not.
if he
I don't know.
was. He's one of those actors who has bounced around to really like cult films and then low budget films.
Yeah.
And then big films. Like he's in a lot of stuff. Like he was in the Taken movies as Liam Neeson's friend.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And by the way, Real Genius, probably one of the last times he had a full head of hair. Like as each film progresses in the 80s and 90s, it just disappears.
Oh, that's right. He wasn't always baldy.
No. And Uncle Rico was wearing a wig. How much you think I could throw a ball over the mountains?
Yep. It's like when I see Bruce Willis in the 80s and 90s stuff, and he's still got hair, and I'm like, he didn't have hair. Well, I guess he did.
Who is that guy? Or Nick Cage. Nick Cage had some hair back then. He did. Yeah. A lot of spin on his hairline. John Grease also was in the sequel to Fright Night.
Oh, really?
Yes. Playing a werewolf vampire hybrid, which is kind of funny because you might also remember he played the werewolf in Monster Squad.
What?
He's got nards. And we found out he had
got nards.
Wolfman's got nards. That's great. Yeah. Oh, but John Grease is great in this movie. Like I said, William Atherton, just so pretentious. Like he's having this huge house. He's having the funds the CIA is giving him to develop a laser diverted into this huge house because he's using his students to do the work. And he's going to take the credit. And as he goes to the house, you know, the workers are there. And he's like, hey, watch what you're doing. Should have gotten an education. That's why we're doing that.
Yeah. And apparently he's been doing this for years. And that's like his house project, I guess.
Oh, yeah. And it's a beautifully huge house. Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Kent is his evil sort of ego right-hand man who tries to suck up to him but does not get respect from him.
No, not at all. Good, because he's an awful person.
Yes, Kent is a bit of a punk. And I believe he played punks in lots of other movies. Do what?
He touches himself.
Let's talk about that real quick. So, to find out what's happening, they knock Kent out and put a radio transmitter in his braces.
Back into his teeth. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You want to tell him what happens real quick?
Oh, well, Mitch has this little microphone in the other room, and he's pretending to be God.
Yes.
And God wants to know where Atherton went, you know?
Yeah, basically, he's using Kent, and he goes, how do I know you're God? And he says what you said, like, stop touching.
Stop touching yourself.
And he's like, it is
God. Yeah, it is God. That's so good.
And so Kent leads them on the chase to find the laser. And they get to the laser and they redivert it and change it to instead zapping a target on its first test run. What does it do? Because this is one of the best endings of a movie ever.
It's true. It changes at the last second and it hits Atherton's house that he's building. And Brent has actually walked into the house to everyone saying, no, don't go in there. Don't go in there. And he finds a giant silver dish of some sort. And it's huge, very huge. And so he thinks that God is going to appear to him as the light shines through the window.
He's trying to get a message,
The laser comes through, hits the big giant disc, and it starts making popcorn. Lots and lots and lots of William Atherton's least favorite food, popcorn.
I was about to say the character, like, when Chris comes to his house, he's like, "Oh, get that away! I hate popcorn. Foreshadowing."
Throw it in there, and then he just like drops it on like the porch.
And so the popcorn like literally explodes the house, like knocks windows out.
Yeah.
Things off. It knocks Kent outside, who apparently is having the best time of his life.
Oh, yeah. He was like, oh my God, it's popcorn.
I know. Like, Kent kind of turns good at the end. He's like, oh,
he loves it. Yeah. His joy was so contagious. I loved it.
It was. And kids are coming over and eating the popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. That popcorn's been in a nasty house and hit the ground.
Well, what's great is Mythbusters did an episode on this one time. Did you see this?
I read about it. Go ahead. You tell them.
Okay. Well,
what were they able
what
to
they
prove?
determined was that a laser can pop popcorn, which is really cool, I think.
Yes, but
popcorn, if you fill up a space with it, will not like expand and put enough pressure to tear a house down.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Absolutely.
So they proved that it cannot be done. In fact, they said the most they could do is just burn it. Like at some point, you just start burning the popcorn, and not like a fire, just like that when you pop it a little bit too long, and you're like crunch. Oh, crunch!
Oh, the bad pieces. No. Yeah.
Now, Groot has figured out that you don't do the exact time on the bag. You do a little 30 seconds. Taken away from the bag suggestion.
Yeah, you have to. There's a certain I've started doing it on the stove, just getting the kernels in a thing and put it in a little frying pan and put a cover on it and just loose a little bit, and you can make the best popcorn on the stove.
And I found out to get the effect of all that, they popped popcorn continuously for 3 months, and they treated it with fire retardant. So, to keep it like it was. And also, they covered it so birds wouldn't eat it because it had fire retardant on it. So,
okay. Interesting.
Yes. So, there's that. I also wanted to talk about the girl that falls in love with little Mitch.
Jordan.
Michelle Mayrink. And you're like, who's that? And you're like, I don't know. But apparently, she was in a lot of stuff in the 80s. She was in Valley Girl. Okay. And she was the star of a low-budget comedy that me and my sister rented in 1989 called, and I kid you not, Nice Girls Don't Explode.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. About a girl who apparently is told by her mom that every time she gets a little frisky or excited with a boy, she'll set something on fire by accident.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it has Wallace Shawn in it, and he has one of the funniest lines I thought as a kid was so funny. He's like, women can't, what was it? Oh gosh, what was it? What's the phrase like? Can't so-and-so, can't so-and-so.
Live with them, can't live without them.
He goes, women can't live with them, can't burn them.
Oh no!
I don't know why. I was like, okay. But back to this, little Jordan, she's so hyper and so like talkative, and I was like, yes.
That's funny. I love it.
You know who's also in this movie? You probably noticed.
Who?
Well, I will tell you. I'll give you one clue. I'll give you 2 clues.
Okay.
I'll give you 3 clues.
Okay.
I'll give you a Cobra Kai, and I'll check you a Better Off Dead. Chosen, whose real name I don't quite seem to know. The guy who played Chosen from Karate Kid 2 and Cobra Kai and Better Off Dead, the Walter Cronkite guy. Chosen?
Yeah.
He's in this movie.
Yeah. Okay, really?
Yeah, he's not. He has a small role and a few lines. He kind of shows up every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Okay, I didn't know that was the same guy. I remember him now.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny. Good. Like, you're like, what else was Chosen in? And then you're like, oh, he was in that.
Yep.
He just kind of shows up every now and then like, hey, remember me? I have a line. But this movie, like, the one-liners in this movie are so funny. Like, at the beginning when Val Kilmer is going for this interview and he's wearing a T-shirt and a jacket and these little, what do you call those? Little headband with the little... balls on the on him or something. And he's like, why are you wearing on those heads? He goes, if I wear them anywhere else, they chafe.
It's true. He's kind of one of those like Ferris Bueller type 80s characters that like, kind of ruled the world. Everything they did was awesome. And people hate them and all this kind of stuff. And that kind of thing doesn't exist anymore, I guess.
No, not
I think
really.
Today's kids would call it a little cringe. And honestly, the only way it worked for me was because he didn't act like that before. You know, he was
Right.
Yeah.
It's
This
kind of
was
like
his,
he's a know-it-all
free
with a
year.
lovable note. It's like Chevy Chase in a lot of his early characters, or Bill
Yeah,
Murray.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like lovably smarmy. Like he's sticking it to the man. He's sticking it to the man.
It's true.
Well, it's funny. We all know someone like Chris Knight. And what's funny is I got one of the best and worst compliments of all time from one person. They said, "Hey, man, you remind me of Val Kilmer from Real Genius." And I was like, yeah, except for the super smart part.
Oh.
And it was like, "You're fun and you're bouncing around and I never know what you're going to do or say."
But also, you look like him, so...
No, I don't. I don't look like Val Kilmer.
No. At least he didn't say you didn't.
Yeah, I know. Well, if he did, I'd be like, "Thank you. He is a handsome man." Yeah, but this movie's fun. And I got to tell you another thing I noticed. So at the beginning, like I said, when Chris Knight is giving the interview or he's going to that place, the lady that he's making laugh, the grown lady, she talks about how she's met, what was it? How many of the 10 smartest people in the world? Like 7?
Oh, 7. Yeah.
Yeah, she says, "You're number 8.
Yeah.
And apparently she likes to try and, rumba with each smart person. She tries with Mitch because he's apparently the 9th. And then guess who the 10th is?
Who?
It's Laszlo. At the very end, when Laszlo pulls up in the RV that he won and all the stuff that he won from these Frito-Lay and other
She's a
contests.
smart person groupie is what she is.
Well, she says, "I've been searching forever for him." Apparently he's the number 1.
Wow.
Or whatever.
Well, what is it about Val Kilmer in this? There's a couple of times he mentioned himself as like 2 people. Because when she was talking to him about meeting the 7 or something like that, he was like, "I'd like to be 2 of those," or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then later he's walking into Atherton's office and he says, he says, "We did," referring to himself. So there's something there to that. Maybe they didn't like go through with whatever they were filming for it, or maybe it's just, I don't know. I don't know if it's anything at all, but I thought it was interesting.
I'm glad you mentioned cutting something out because I, for the first time, saw the film trailer. I'd never seen the trailer before. And I'm glad I never saw it because the trailer shows you the whole flipping film.
Yeah, just like the Megan 2.0 trailer I just watched. Don't watch it.
Oh, it looks the whole movie?
Awesome, but it shows the whole. It's got to be the whole movie. It's awesome. I was in. They didn't have to show me that. I'm
You
in
already
for Megan
have been?
2.0.
You didn't have to
they're
show
going
the
from
whole
horror to like action thriller. I'm down. That's great.
Nice. Are we talking about Real Genius horror to action?
I wish.
No, maybe. But yeah, so in the trailer, it has this scene where Chris is like in a lawn chair with helium balloons and he's outside Atherton's class. He's like, "What are you doing?" And so I'm like, I think I remember that scene. I watched the movie.
It looks familiar to
It's
me for
not
some
in the
reason.
movie.
Yeah.
Apparently they cut the scene, and one of the reasons they cut the scene after test audiences saw it, they were afraid kids were going to try to imitate it. And for those
don't
away,
do that, kids. Oh yeah, because it's not a good thing at all.
No. And you think like people can't be that stupid to try and imitate a movie trick. But do you remember the movie The Program from 1993, the football movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a very famous scene that is no longer available. It might be a deleted scene on the DVD.
Yeah.
It got cut in. They took it in the theater as it was playing and cut the scene out. It's a scene.
Was it Denzel? Who was that?
No. That was James. Was that James Caan? That was James Caan.
James Caan, you're right.
James
Yep.
Caan. And about 4 or 5 people who played football players, nothing but football players in every movie they were in. Yes. But was it I can't remember that. Anyway, whatever. Okay. Point being, the moral of the story is there's a scene in the movie where the football players test their mettle and their courage by lying in the middle of the road while cars pass by. Well, a bunch of kids tried that and got killed and injured in 93.
Oh my God.
While the movie was in the theater. I know. I wish I was making this up. So they cut that scene out.
Yeah. Why would they do that?
I don't know. I want to say Craig Sheffer was the star. Nah.
Okay.
There you go. Anyway, that's not the point. So, Real Genius is a fun movie. Like I said, this movie is like really beloved by a lot of people. They will quote this movie nonstop. They'll talk about everything.
I was afraid it hadn't aged well or wouldn't like it this time,
It has aged pretty good, though.
It has aged well. It's very good.
Yeah. And I'm glad it wasn't a Revenge of the Nerds style, like that would have been like...
panty sniffing kind of weirdo stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So the laser, I forgot the program is called Project Crossbow in the CIA. And I don't know if you noticed at the beginning, but they show like a mock-up video of what it'll look like. And the laser hits like some foreign dictator guy and his seat, he's gone, his seat's on fire.
Yeah.
Well, the guy
was that just a demonstration of
that was a demonstration. At first I thought it was really happening.
Okay, so it wasn't happening.
But the guy
I was very confused about that.
But the guy who was in charge of it, who spent the 80s and 90s playing a lot of military guys and you know, straight-laced villains, kind of, this other guy says he doesn't want to be a part of it, and so they don't do it on screen, but they kill him.
Oh, okay.
Remember that?
Yeah.
He goes, it's a shame about Johnson. We're going to have to liquidate him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, or whatever his name is.
They're bad guys. They are.
Yeah, they are. They are. But I got to tell you about two casting things before we get to the end of this. The guy who plays the pilot in that video and the pilot at the end, that guy is Stacy Peralta. Does that name mean anything to you?
Yeah, I know Jake Peralta from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the series. That must be his sister. No?
Maybe that's where he got the... No relation to Jake Peralta.
Oh, okay.
No. Stacy Peralta was a skateboarder in the late 70s, early 80s, who's known as the posse called the Z-Boys. Now, if you've heard of the Z-Boys, I believe you were an amateur skater at one time, weren't you, sir?
I tried. Yeah.
Me and my sister had a skateboard, and we went in our carport. Woo!
I saw the movie and I saw the documentary narrated by Sean Penn.
He directed the documentary and wrote the movie Dogtown and Z-Boys. And he's also directed and written for it. Well, that was him. He had a small part there. In case you don't know who the Z-Boys were, they were the guys who literally invented modern skateboarding as we know it. Yeah, they were the first ones to do tricks, flips.
They took surfboards and made them small and added some wheels to them.
Yep. And then they also went in pools that had been drained for the summer or whatever.
Yeah.
And used
that
those
was their
as
first,
Yep.
I tried that one time and I fell. I never tried it again.
I can't imagine that's not dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that.
Another casting thing. There's a rumor about this movie, a cameo rumor. Have you heard it?
No.
I've heard this for a few years. There is a rumor that Tom Hanks has a blink and you miss it cameo in this film.
In this movie?
In this film. Because him and Brian Grazer were friends, because, you know, Brian Grazer's produced a lot of Tom Hanks movies like Apollo 13.
Was it more of his back and his kind of silhouette, I guess? I saw
scene.
someone that reminded me of Tom Hanks, and I was like,
that's just it. There are people who swear it's him, and then there are people who say, no, that's not him. So it's never been fully confirmed, but it's the scene.
I never thought it was, but maybe.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's the scene where Mitch goes to the freshman orientation, and, you know, the quirky old professor's trying to give him some wisdom, and as Mitch turns around, a guy with the big fro, what Tom Hanks had at that time, turns around and he's, you know, and it vaguely looks like him. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Could have been Tom Hanks. That was bachelor party, bosom buddies, splash time. So yeah, which Brian Grazer produced. There you go. That's the rumor.
There you go. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about Real Genius before we wrap this up?
I don't think so. That about covers it for me. Yeah. And our listeners at home, they're like, okay, come on, guys. Wrap it up. They put the little wrap it up box up.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm going to rate this movie. If you're ready,
okay.
I'm going to rate it. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I give this movie, because I like it, but I wouldn't watch it all the time. I don't like it as much as a lot of my friends do, but I like it. It's a good movie. I think my kids would enjoy it. So I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 80s montages. We're going to do it.
There are no less than 3 montages in this film, I think.
There are. And again, they're talking during one of the montages. So you're like, what were they saying?
Yeah. They're staying in the classroom and they're talking. Like, that was a scene. They just turned it into part of the montage. Like,
do you think it went so badly?
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. The 3.5 is pretty low, man. Oh my God.
All right, fine. 3 3/4. Is that higher?
Okay, I'll take 3 3/4. That's fine. Okay. Yeah. I give it a solid 4.25.
Okay.
You're doing that.
What was your rating system again?
Oh, sorry. It was popcorn houses.
Oh, nice.
Popcorn houses out of popcorn houses. Yeah.
Nice.
I love this movie. It's a classic. It was really just a delight to sit down and watch. My roommate had never seen it, and he was like, that was really delightful.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a nice microcosm of like 80s like thing. Like I said, there's like running around. There's a little bit of science danger. There's musical montages. It's got everything.
Super cute movie. It really is.
And Val
Not in a
Kilmer,
bad way. Yeah.
What's funny about this movie is I don't know what the original poster looked like, but one of the DVDs has Val Kilmer like bouncing a little sphere on his finger with the goofiest face, and it's not like a real photo. So you can tell it's like I don't know if it's a painting or a mock-up, but he's like, And then there's another one that's for the Blu-ray 4K where he's wearing a shirt with Einstein, and next to him is Einstein wearing a Chris Knight shirt.
Yeah.
And then,
I rented it on Fandango at home, and it's got the bad DVD cover.
the one where like his hair's in a weird
it looks
shape.
like an old Nickelodeon show font or something for the Real Genius, and like it's like, what is this? This is awful.
You think someone was like, Val, and he's like, oh, what?
Yeah, it's such a bad cover, man.
It is a weird, and that is the standard cover that was on video for
now
a
it
long
is.
time.
Yep.
But yeah.
I think that was released on DVD when DVD came out.
It was also on the video.
Why?
Shout out to Big T again for showing me this movie. Can I tell a quick story about Big T?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Big T was part of this conglomeration across the hall. There was 2 rooms, and the 2 rooms, they were suite mates. They decided to put all the beds in one room, and they made one room a super living room, like with couches. And it was a great movie room, and it was so much fun, right? So almost every weekday, Big T and the boys, Mikey Floyd, they would eat lunch early and get back to the dorm by 12. Do you know why?
They need to watch something.
They were there to watch Days of Our Lives.
Oh, yes.
We had
was this
BC
back when the possession of Marlena and stuff, or is this around?
No. That was actually, they might have been doing it because I think Big T was a year older than me, maybe. So they might have started it in 95 when that.
That's when I got it at Days of Our Lives.
Me too. Well, I've been into it in the 80s. So I knew about Marlena and Roman and all those people. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Patch, Kayla, love those guys. But they would watch Days of Our Lives every weekday. Okay. And they would be like, it'd be like, okay, like when I used to watch wrestling with these guys in Mount Holly, they'd be like, shh, quiet. They were the same way. They were like, be quiet, it's back on, because you didn't have a DVR. Here's the funniest story I could ever tell you about that moment. We're watching an episode, and in this episode is an actor, I think his name is Jake Gaultier. The biggest thing that he was in was Son-in-Law. He played Travis, the ex-boyfriend of Carla Gugino's character.
Oh, okay.
Who was also secretly sleeping on the side with Kelly Kapowski with Tiffany Amber Thiessen's character. Okay.
Of course.
He was on Days of Our Lives. There's this football player. His name was Big Steve. Big Steve said, I hate that guy. I'm not going to watch him. I hate that guy. We're like, what's the problem? He's like, he broke up Zach and Kelly on Saved by the Bell. He is the same guy who played the character that stole Kelly away from Zach.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he never wanted to see that guy again.
It's a small world after all. It is.
It is.
Yeah, I think that Marlena Possession stuff was around 96, 97.
Actually,
like that.
no, it was the 94 and 95 season, if you want to
Was
count
it?
Like, yeah. I was
it was earlier than that. Okay. Yeah.
No, I was a senior because I read it in TV Guide and I was like, I got to watch this.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
It was so big, they brought back that storyline like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, did they?
She was repossessed.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, good times.
I wonder if our friend from college is writing those. Oh, he is writing those now. He's moving.
Yes, he is. Should we say his name or think it'd be okay?
Yeah,
with
Jamie Giddens.
Jamie Giddens, his dream was to, at first, write for Soap Opera Digest, then to write a soap opera. And I think he achieved both goals, didn't he?
I think so. Well, he was for sure writing about soap operas as a profession for years. Years.
Yes. And now he's a writer on Days of Our Lives. Won an Emmy, I believe.
Yep, he created his own show, writing his own show on another station.
He did?
Yeah.
I want to say he writes for Tyler Perry's, some of his shows, like Sisters.
Really?
And
I don't doubt it. Yeah.
And I don't... Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm saying he's in big demand.
He is. I'm so proud of him. We're so proud of you, Jamie.
Yeah. He was always in that editing room at SAU, like doing his job.
Yeah.
He was literally like J. Jonah Jameson or something. Like
he was.
That's
wasn't he the guy who did the student spotlight for the paper?
I think so. Yeah. But he was also the editor as well. So like he would just be behind the desk all the time. Did he go to class? I don't know.
maybe.
But this is a guy whose job is writing. It's always been writing. I swear he must have been 5 and typing on the typewriter, you know? Mom, what do you want to hear about?
The scene is a dark lit room.
Yeah, but he's up there. That's really cool, I think.
I know, I'm so proud of him. He's got I don't know if he's writing for the show, but Tyler Perry has produced a new actual daytime soap opera for CBS called Beyond the Gates.
Okay.
And I think he's involved.
Is it the one that
somewhere.
I think that's the one he's moving to.
Maybe.
After
I feel like
Gates,
he's involved, but he does hype it up a lot on social media.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
speaking of hype,
All right.
are you ready for our next segment? Look out,
I am.
segue!
Can we talk now?
Yeah, sorry. What's the part of this show, Matches?
This is the part of the show where Shannon comes out and thing the thong.
That's right. I'm going to thing a thong. It's a huge thong. You're going to love this thong. You will never forget this thong. When you think of this thong will change your life. Am I right?
Yeah.
And you can tell everybody this is your thong.
I have
Okay.
no idea what we're
Oh,
doing.
this is going to be fun because I've got a treat for you guys. Because
What could it be?
normally I write a theme song either for our show or about the film. Well, I have written sort of a theme song for the film. It's completely original, completely a Shannon idea.
Yep.
But right now, I'm going to need you, Tommy Boy, Matches, to join me on stage. It's a duet. Are you ready for this?
Surprise. I was sent something beforehand. I hope we can do this.
Oh, you think we might get sued?
No.
Oh,
I just
good.
hope we can do it at all.
Oh, yeah. Other people just might turn it off like,
Yeah.
No.
All right.
No.
Well, let's
You
try
ready?
it.
Let's go.
All right.
Do.
NOMS Podcast presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Chris Knight, a.k.a. Val Kilmer.
We know that you were secretly bad, man.
Although you seem just like a wacky ringleader with great one-liners and 80s flair.
You made an ice rink in the dorm room.
We know you've got the brilliant mind to rival Einstein.
That guy looks like Doc Brown.
But when your sinister professor tries to use your project to make a weapon for the CIA,
It goes pew pew.
you and your fellow cool geeks rally to save the day.
Don't trust the guy from Ghostbusters.
That's why we honor you, Val Kilmer, as a real man of genius.
I'll always be your Huckleberry. Whoa.
How's that?
I think we
Did we
did
do
it.
it?
I think we done
Did
it.
we make the cut?
That's it. I think. So, did you like the song? I like the ending.
It was cool. Yeah,
Dude,
I
you
like
did
it.
great. You elevated this whole segment, okay?
Oh, that was you. You sound like the Pokemon guy singing that song.
The Pokemon guy.
Yeah, Pokemon.
Woo!
He's so good.
Oh man, you know my son and his friend used to sing that song like as a joke. I can't remember.
I believe
how
it, but it goes so hard. How can you joke about
It
it?
does kind of rock, doesn't it? Yeah. Hey, you know what also is fun?
What's
I
that?
found that you can sing, the Sons of Anarchy theme song, riding
Yeah.
through this world. Okay. You take that melody and you put the
Mm-hmm.
lyrics for Facts of Life, and it works perfectly. You take the good, you take the bad,
Oh, wow.
take them all. There you have. Come on, matches. The facts of life.
Laugh.
The facts of life. Learning the facts of life. Oh,
Nice.
Tootie.
Wow, that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Next bit. No.
Woo! This bit is a favorite amongst.
Favorites.
Why, yes, it is. This
Alright,
bit is
favorite
one of our
amongst
favorite
favorites.
bits of the entire podcast.
I
It
absolutely
is called.
adore it.
You ready for this?
I'm not ready, but go ahead.
Okay, let's do it 80s style. You ready?
Okay, ready.
Do. It's the video movie corner pick up the week. The video movie corner pick up the week. The video movie corner pick up the week. Video movie corner pick up the week. Oh my gosh, I felt that in my thoughts. The video movie corner pick of the week is brought to you by us, and it's filmed before a live audience. What is this segment, Matches?
This segment is where we rent a movie from the video corner down the street, and we watch that movie,
Over there.
and then we recommend it to everyone else so they can go to their movie corners down the street and rent their favorites.
That's right. That's right.
Pretty much it. Yeah.
Or look at your parents' library.
I know.
Or your cool Uncle Rico.
Oh, Uncle Rico.
I love Uncle Rico. Oh, John. I feel like John Grice needs more love. Like, he's fun.
Yeah, that's true. He does.
He's fun. But he's not in my video movie pick of the week. Is he in yours?
No, he's not in mine.
Oh, too bad. Well, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I want you to go first.
I'm glad you asked. In honor of our subject we are honoring, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. You gave us so much awesome film. I mean, he was Batman one time, and I really liked his Batman. I'll be honest with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he gave us Thunderheart, which is a great little mystery set in an Indian reservation. That's kind of a forgotten film. He gave us so many great roles in films. This, my video movie corner pick of the week, is one of my favorite Val Kilmer movies. And it's kind of an unsung, under the radar. I don't think it did good at the box office. It feels forgotten. But it's a movie from 2002 called The Salton Sea.
Oh, I have not heard of this before today. So,
and you're serious? You haven't heard? Okay.
I don't think so. I
remember seeing trailers for it in the summer of 2002 and renting it whenever it came to video 5 years later. It is a thriller, noir, mystery, a little bit of comedy, sort of a train spotting type movie, and I'll tell you why I said that. It's a movie where Val Kilmer seemingly plays a junkie who is a meth head, and he has meth head friends, including one of our favorite pirates, Peter Sarsgaard, is one of his meth head friends. And they go around town, and they score junk, and they have adventures. But wait, there is something else going on under the surface. He's not who he seems to be, and he's got intentions that are not completely apparent. I won't spoil the plot of the movie. Basically, what you see in the first 30 minutes is not what the movie's about. Like, it totally pulls you into this world. He's got, like, these junkie friends. One of them played by Adam F. Goldberg, by the way.
Love Adam Goldberg.
Yes,
okay.
not the one who made the... Wait, is Adam F. the one who made the Goldberg show? Or is Adam Goldberg the one I'm
It's just thinking? Adam Goldberg. In this.
Okay. And you might be saying, who's that, Shannon? Well, if you're my wife, you know him as the psycho roommate that Chandler had for a few episodes in Friends.
Was he really?
He was good. You remember him?
Funny.
You remember?
Yeah, I don't know if I do. I don't remember the psycho roommate.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. My wife would know his name. But he was in Saving Private Ryan. But anyway.
This is Peter Sarsgaard, Vincent D'Onofrio, Luis Guzman.
Whoa. You're stealing my review.
I'm sorry. There's so
you
many.
You are bogarting my review.
I saw these names and I got so excited.
This movie has Peter Sarsgaard, Luis Guzman.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. I wanted to tell you, Vincent D'Onofrio. Love Vincent. Again, another one of my favorite character actors. He loses himself in a part. He plays a meth kingpin, a drug kingpin named, I kid you not, Pooh Bear. And Pooh Bear has done so much mess and meth, he doesn't have a nose. So he wears a plastic prosthetic. And he talks a little bit like Edgar from Men in Black, his same character that he was possessed by a bug. He's like, Pooh Bear smells a rat.
So is it bad or is it good? Or
no, it's good. It's good. I don't know if I'm describing it well. It is a very well-made mystery crime thriller movie. It's emotional. You'll really enjoy it. You got to immerse yourself in it. Luis Guzman does have a tiny role, like you said, in the movie.
Yeah.
And I think the lead singer of Buck Cherry has a tiny role. And Anthony LaPaglia plays a undercover cop in the movie. And there might be some other people that you recognize from stuff. It's a really good movie. It's kind of dark, but it's got some really good scenes, really good parts. And the whole story, I think, is well done. The Salted Sea.
Really?
Yes, The Salted Sea.
I don't know how I missed this. It doesn't even look familiar looking it up on the internet right now.
Yeah. Well, it flew under the radar. Like, I think after I rented it, I might have told you guys about it, and I'd be like, "You got to see this movie. It's great."
Oh no, I just don't know.
That's why I'm putting it as my video movie pick of the week. Yay! Now, tell me yours, and I'll tell you everyone who stars in it. I'm playing. You know I love you.
Oh my god, I was just excited. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Of course you can be excited. This cast is great in this movie. I'm messing with you.
True. Yeah. Okay, well, I've got one from. It's also a noirish kind of a thing going on.
That's
here.
a fun word. Isn't it?
From 2005. It is rated R, kids. So ask your parents. It is an hour and 43 minutes long. It stars Robert Downey Jr., Michelle Monaghan, Val Kilmer, and that movie is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That is Shane Black, the screenwriter Shane Black's directorial debut.
That was his first film?
Yes, his first to write and direct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that he directed. I mean, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about this movie.
This movie
is a much-loved movie, isn't it?
It's a neo-noir kind of murder mystery and thriller, I guess. I'll read the little synopsis here just for everyone. After being mistaken for an actor, a New York thief is sent to Hollywood to train under a private eye for a potential movie role. But the duo are thrown together with a struggling actress into a murder mystery.
Ooh.
And I think it's funny. I think it's very cool, very well, pretty well done. Shane Black is a very good writer, I think. And, he's had a lot of hits, few misses, maybe. Yeah.
You either love or hate The Predator, the fourth one.
Exactly, yeah. It was fine.
I liked it.
Yeah. There was some good stuff, and I wish they'd really fleshed some of that out. But yeah, that's true. But I'm going to see, there's a few people you might recognize. Shannon
Peter Sarsgaard, Louise Gooseberg?
No, none of them. Let's see.
Just playing, buddy.
Yeah. But honestly, I own it on DVD. I've seen it multiple times. It is one of my favorites. I love it so much.
Flavor it flames. Really? Okay. What are your favorites?
It's very cool, very stylized. The language is very, very distinct. You might like it, you might hate it, but it's kind of a pulpy type, novel type movie, I guess.
Kind of like Salt and Sea. Maybe not for everybody.
Maybe so, yeah.
Okay. But I think Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was more, did it make good money at the box office? I feel like it's more commercial because people still talk about it.
I don't think it made a lot at the box office, but I think it made a lot on like renting and things like that.
Okay, because people still talk about it. Of course, I like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang when it was called The Hard Way.
I don't know that one.
Michael J. Fox and James Woods. Michael J. Fox is an actor researching a cop role, so he shadows James Woods and they get involved in real shenanigans.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's completely different.
It's just a remake. Come on. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I have never seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
You haven't?
I've always meant to. It's one of those movies I've got on my meant to list and I've never jumped.
Yeah, I know, and spoilers, I know there's not an episode about it, so we can talk about it, but Ebert famously hated that movie.
Wait, he did?
Yeah,
really?
He didn't like it. Roper too, I believe. So I don't know what's wrong with them, but it's a fun, cool movie. I thought
critics really liked it. Okay, well maybe they do.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. All right, so Kiss Kiss, a Bang Bang, and the Salted Sea are our
video movie corner pick of the
week. Brought to you by Kickers.
By Menon. Not really, just kidding.
I always thought they were saying B-U-Y. By Menon.
That's great.
I was like, what's a Menon? Okay. He's been asleep for about 30 minutes. He's coming to. Everybody ready? You guys ready? Voices in my head. Okay, here. Oh, he's waking up. He's waking up. Matches, wake up.
Hello?
Matches, do you hear me? Matches. It's me.
Yes, I can hear you. Where are you?
Good. Well, I'm everywhere. Do you know who this is?
Oh no, I'm going crazy, aren't I? Who is this?
No, you're not going crazy. I only every now and then speak to certain people I select. This is God, Matches.
Oh, cool. Where have you been?
Yes, and in case you're wondering, I do look a lot like Prince. It is very true.
Huh, I can only imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I actually love that song. That song is great. Yeah. Oh, mercy me. Anyway, Matches, listen. I'm very disappointed in you, Matches. Mm-hmm. You can get back in my good graces by doing as I say. Do you hear me?
Okay. How can I do that?
Matches,
how can I do that?
This is what I need you to do. I need you to find out why McRib isn't all year long. Shannon. I need you to make sure it's all year long. It's not for me. God obviously doesn't eat McRibs, but I need it for a very special little boy.
Shannon, is this you?
No,
did you put a speaker in my mouth again?
This boy has 57 years to live, and he needs to have McRib anytime at any time. Listen.
I know it's you, Shannon.
No. Somehow I made Baja Blast the thing. to be all year round. I need McRib to match it. Do you understand? It's not.
You're always scheming on the McRib. It gives you away every single time.
Fine. Can we bring back McDLT? Keeps the hot side hot and the cool side cool.
Which one was that?
You don't remember McDLT?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was short-lived, but it sure did make an impact. And Jason, oh gosh, what's his name from Seinfeld? Jason
Alexander.
Yes, Jason Alexander. Yes, Jason Alexander. He was in a commercial for it when it first came out. It was basically a hamburger with lettuce and tomato. Okay, but it was styrofoam and it had two sides, and it had the burger patty and a bun, and the other side had the other bun with the lettuce and tomato, and it said keep the cool side cool and the hot side hot.
Interesting.
And you can
I remember they started having salads and stuff. Remember the salad shakers?
I do. I miss the wraps. The McDonald's
the wraps,
in general in fast food places.
They really tried to do something there for a bit, and then they just said,
"Yeah." KFC used to have the Twisters, tornadoes. I don't know.
Yeah,
it was too much food.
Yeah,
I loved it. Is there such a thing? Oh, Matches. Thank you for listening to my wishes. Also, I want you to see if you can get the Bengals to reunite.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Fine. How about
8 of them are dead? No, I'm kidding.
What? The Bengals? Did you say 8 of them are dead?
Sorry.
The Bengals, not the Beatles.
There's only 5 left. Come on.
Oh my gosh. I love the Bengals song. It was like Cruel Summer. Dun-dun-dun. Right? Am I right? That was the Bengals? No. The Bengals were. No, the Bengals were. What were the Bengals?
Bengals were Eternal Flame. The Bengals were.
I know what the Bengals were. I know they were Walk Like an Egyptian.
It's burning an eternal flame.
Wasn't that used for a commercial for Tux hemorrhoid cream? Because it should have been.
Probably.
Well, speaking of burning, we hope you enjoyed this show about real genius. Oh, something I forgot to say. There's a part in the movie during one of the montages where Mitch is having class, and he's in class with all these people, and the lecture, the teacher's droning on. And as the scene goes back and forth, students are replaced with recorders. You see boom boxes, you see tape recorders, you see little mic sit-ups, and as it goes back, it's just Mitch in the class with the professor. And then at some point, the professor is gone, and there's a reel-to-reel with his
audio
voice on it.
Yeah. And it's like, pay attention because math on reel-to-reel goes really fast. And it's just audio recorders of all kinds that were available back then on the seats.
And apparently, let's see, that is based on a real professor from Southern California who did that.
That's awesome.
Yep, there you go.
Smart people are so great sometimes.
That's what I hear. But you should know, you're one of them. Hey, speaking of smart, if you want to listen... If you want to listen to more of our podcast, you want to find out what we're about, how can they contract us?
You can contract us in any way, shape, or form. But mostly if you go to nomspodcast@gmail.com. That's NOMS podcast@gmail.com. Nice. You can also comment down below wherever you're watching this. You can only listen to us on Apple Podcast. I suggest that. We sound great. We don't look great. No, I'm kidding. Also YouTube and Spotify. So yeah, wherever you get those fine podcasts from those 3 places.
Yeah, that's MySpace, Friendster, Etch-a-Sketch.
We would be on MySpace if there was a MySpace.
Heck yeah, if it still existed. Hey, you know what would be a great way to end this podcast?
What's that?
Like the movie and so many great 80s movies ends with Tears for Fear, with us doing while Tears for Fears sings, everybody wants to rule the world. Go ahead, Matthew. Matches, do some things. Do some things, Matches. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Shannon learned to read that day.
That's right.
Nom nom nom. Nom nom nom.